Hey, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. We just have a regular Are You Ready to Ramble chat planned for tonight. I thought maybe we could go over some news stories. Anything you want to talk about, it's free game, and we can talk about anything. So looks like Mumsy's in the house. Mumsy's in the house. Woohoo! And I want to thank my new subscribers as well if they're joining. I've got a couple of new subscribers since I posted on my Facebook page that, hey, come on, help me get to 500. So if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time. It'd be really great to hit 500. I'm at 300 and something right now. I'm more than halfway there. So let's do it. All right. All right. So I've got odd news ready to share, but I thought, hey, I'd share some weird Cambodian news stories first. So let me share my screen. We're going to start here just randomly. Have you guys ever heard of the fruit durian? This is what it looks like. A lot of people who are traveling, they are in Asia, in Southeast Asia in particular, you'll see signs in hotels that say no durian allowed, signs on buses, no durian. Because it's got a very strong smell. And a lot of people think it smells like a locker room or something, or gym shorts or dirty socks or whatever. I don't think it smells like that. I think papaya smells like that. And I don't like I don't like papaya. But durian, I can eat durian. I don't have a problem with it. It's very creamy. And it's got sections kind of the way an orange, if you peel an orange and then it breaks apart into segments, well, there's kind of like these big mushy segments. It's not pulpy like a citrus, but it's mushy, almost like pudding, like vanilla pudding or something is the creamy texture of this fruit. And anyway, it's quite the delicacy. You can make a lot of money with it. And so, as we can see here, the headline, Durian Thieves Busted. A gang of thieves who specialized in stealing pungent durian fruit have been brought to justice. They were arrested at 10 p.m. in Ratnakiri in Cambodia. One was 32, one was 18. Here they are waiting for the police, I guess. Maybe some rangers or somebody caught them and then made them sit there. Okay, no news on as far as how they were trafficking the durian fruit, who they stole it from. But yeah, durian makes the news here in Cambodia. So next, let's come on over here to KTV hostess alleges an assault by a foreign guest. So this is the hostess. Now, if you don't know, in America and in a lot of Western countries, you have karaoke, usually in a bar setting. And there's a microphone, and usually there's somebody. Sometimes you've got live music, and sometimes it's recordings. And there's usually a list that you can choose, and you say, okay, I want to sing this song. They set it up for you. You go and you sing. Usually there's some kind of monitor that gives you the words to the songs. It's not like that. It's very rare that you could find that in Asia, and in particular Cambodia. What you have instead are clubs, KTV, meaning karaoke TV clubs. And you'll have private rooms. So you pay a fee. Sometimes you pay a fee to rent the room, and sometimes the room is free, but you're paying for all your drinks. And a lot of times these KTV clubs have girls available to be in the room, drink, sing, pour your drinks for you, feed you food, and sing for you or with you. And whether or not any kind of favors beyond that happen, kind of can vary from club to club. It's not supposed to happen, but yeah, it happens. So, and it's very rare that someone would speak up and say they got assaulted, but they're saying that the guest strangled her and banged her head on the floor. And this was in Phnom Penh. She said that before the incident, a group of foreigners came to sit and drink at the KTV Spring Paris Club above and called her and other women to sit and drink with them. That much is normal, as I explained. She then says that one of the men, a Chinese national who told her that he was the owner of an online gambling company, attacked her, attempting to strangle her and then smashing her head against the floor. The suspect then called his bodyguards to the KTV and fled the scene. And so then she contacted the police by phone. After 30 minutes, they arrived and she filed a complaint. So that might be the end of it. I don't know. I don't see her. I mean, her hair's pretty. I mean, if she got banged, I'm not saying it didn't happen. And assault of anyone is a serious crime. I'm just wondering, did she fix her hair before she called the police? You know, she had 30 minutes before they got there, so maybe she wanted to tidy herself up, because she doesn't. I mean, if you've been having your head slammed into the floor, it seems like you'd be a little bit more messed up than that. But alrighty, so yeah. Definitely not something you see every day in the normal news. Things like that happen. Absolutely. So next we have a landmine explosion. Thank goodness this is rare now. It doesn't happen so often, but you need to be aware that it can still happen. So if you go into certain provinces or certain areas, and you notice this was a farm tractor that ran over the mine. So you have mines that you might even think an area is cleared and it's buried, but then you get the ground shifts, water comes, things rise to the top or near the top, and you don't see it right away. And when the tractor then rolled over it, it detonated the landmine. The man was injured but didn't die, thank goodness. So there's a lot of demining efforts being done. A lot of the mines were from the UK and America. And so there's a lot of efforts to clear we have demining dogs, we have demining rats, we have people who do demining. And it's sad when, it says that from January to April 2024, there were 23 victims of landmines, which is a 92% increase to the same period in 2023. That's what I mean. It's like, it's rare now. When I first moved here, you did see people like begging that were missing limbs or something, that were victims of landmines is one term, but they also like to use unexploded ordnance because it might not be a specific landmine. It could have been a bomb that landed and didn't explode, and it went into the ground, and then it got covered up over the years. So there could be different kinds of explosives. And a new term here, you can see explosive remnants of war, ERW. That's kind of the UN and NGO term that they like to use as an umbrella to cover all of those things. So yes, it does still happen. It is rare. Let's see what you guys are saying. Hope he didn't lose any limbs. Let me see if it says what his injuries are. It's just a slightly injuring one driver. So that means he probably did. He probably got injured from the tractor, like the tractor might have got lifted up off the land, and then and so like the accident of that rather than like the mine itself. If you step on one, or sometimes you're playing with something so it'll be your hands because you're playing with something, or a foot or a leg because you stepped on one. But since he was on the tractor, I think that took most of the blast for him. All right, next up. Man dies after Siem Reap snake bite. This is the first news story I have seen about someone dying from a snake bite. I do know, after moving here to Cambodia, that that there are some snakes that Cambodians just in general will say it's a 3-step snake, because basically you will take 3 steps after you're bitten and will drop dead. There are some deadly snakes. This is a picture of a king cobra. It says a man has died after he was bitten by a venomous snake in Siem Reap province. Siem Reap is where Angkor Wat is, but I don't think this was right near Angkor Wat. Siem Reap the province expands beyond just Angkor Wat, but for an idea of where in the country it is. He was 44 years old. Oh, he was trying to capture the snake, which immediately bit his left hand on the middle finger. He was rushed to a health center but died in transit. That's all we got on that one. You don't like snakes. I don't like snakes either. Let's move on. So we'll come to this one. Give it a second to load up. Let me close. Maybe I can, while we're waiting for that, I'll close some of these other ones. Come on. Oh, it's still showing you the snake one because it hasn't moved over to the other one yet. I don't even know what the story's about yet because oh wait, more rain predicted for Cambodia over the next few days. So while we're waiting for this story to load, I can say that it's been dry season now. I think we haven't had like storms since maybe November of last year. You get an odd rain here and there, but not like rainy season where it rains every day. And we're not there yet. And I just learned a new term. Apparently, locals will call these early rains before the heavy rainy season starts mango rain. So, and it is kind of mango season right now, as far as in my yard and in the beret that I live in, the neighborhood that I live in. The mangoes are just dropping. There's like mangoes rotting all over the streets. They get swept up every day, but they fall every day. You hear them thump on if somebody parks their car under the mango tree so that they're in the shade during the day, and then a mango falls on it. Is like this. It's like hail hitting the car, right? It's like, bam. It's got to be dents in the roofs of the cars, man. But we're looking forward to rainy season. I am anyway. It will relieve the water scarcity. We have water. Thankfully, we haven't run out of water in Phnom Penh with all the new condominiums and skyscrapers. Some areas in the past have run out of water and had to have like water tanks, truck water tank things go around, and then like people would come with their containers to get their containers filled because there was no water to their house. Brand new expensive houses. And there was no water. They had to take container. Well, they probably had their cleaners and gardeners and security, go. They didn't. I'm sure they didn't have to carry the water bottles themselves. Let me try to share this. We'll just skip that one. I told you the rains are coming. Chalet is in the house. Chalet is in the house. Welcome. You had a good rain yesterday. I watched a little bit of your live, just enough to say hello before I went to bed. And there was just a little bit of rain, but it was overcast. It's like I really like it when the weather is like that. In fact, I need to share on the community post. I did take a picture of the Tonle Sap River because we've got three rivers in Phnom Penh. You've got the Mekong, the Tonle Sap, and the Basak rivers. And I don't know how often it happens, but occasionally you'll get this green gray color. Some people might call it jade. I think jade would be a little bit brighter green, and this is more gray green. And it just reminds me of the San Francisco Bay when it turns that color. Normally it's a muddy brown color, most of the year. And when it turns that green gray, oh my goodness, I love it. So I did snap a couple of pictures, and I'll try to add one soon as a community post so you guys can see it. It's 90. Wow, what's the temperature here? 19 degrees Celsius. What? No. It's not that low. I don't know. It's probably in the 80s, at least right now, at 9 o'clock at night. Just by what I kind of feel like it's probably in the 80s. But it's like 100 in, 98, 99, 100 at the peak of the day. 81 right now for Chalet. Yeah, I think Florida and Cambodia are very similar. Only maybe most of the time it's not as humid as Florida. I think Florida gets more humid. So what's this? A Phnom Penh tuk-tuk driver sought after an alleged gang rape attempt on a female reveler. So this woman, I think, was getting a ride in the tuk-tuk. And so the police are trying to trace him down. She's got a picture of his license plate. The driver tried to take advantage of her, and also invited accomplices to assault her sexually. At 4 a.m. in the morning, she ordered the tuk-tuk to take her home after a night out. And instead of taking her home, he took her to a deserted area of the city and behaved improperly to her. How's that for news? And then he called his accomplices, but she was able to escape, took the license number of the tuk-tuk, as well as the name of the driver. The details have been passed. Well, if she's got the license plate number and his name, then they'll probably be able to find him unless he's gone somewhere in hiding. They're investigating. So you just have to be careful wherever you are. I think is why I wanted to mention this story. It's unfortunate. I don't like to take tuk-tuks. I'm sorry, I don't. I'll order a car taxi. But then again, I'm not usually out until 4 a.m. in the morning. A lot of people are. Doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with that. I'm not usually out that late. Certainly don't want to be on my motorcycle that late because you will have like motorcycle gangs that will come and knock you off your motorcycle and steal your motorcycle. So I don't want to be a victim like that. So you mitigate your risks, if you're not out at 4 a.m., this probably is not going to happen to you. Not to say it's her fault. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you got to mitigate your risks. So here's a happy story. The UNICEF is praised, has praised Cambodia over the social services and child protection work. So that's nice. This picture is an opening ceremony of a workshop on the implementation of the partnership between the government of Cambodia. Now this, I'll mention, this green background with the Khmer language and the English, and the picture of the king and the king father and the queen mother all at the top, and everybody lined up here at the bottom, and maybe some sponsor logos. Every government meeting, has this backdrop. They used to like, this is probably digital now, or printed and then put on a frame. But it used to be like they'd have green felt on, they'd just have a standard board with green felt on it, like a pool table, right? And then they would actually cut out all the words in styrofoam and then stick them on. I remember those days. But anyway, yeah, so there's been some improvement on social services and child protection. So good for Cambodia on that. Snow's in the house. Snow's in the house. Excellent. So she says, I'm sorry I got stuck in a horrible place where people were live streaming on YouTube shorts, and they weren't really doing anything. They were just looking at themselves in the camera. So glad to be back to normal land. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for the compliment that I represent normal land. Before I went live, I was watching the live stream by Emily D. Baker about the Karen Reed case, which is live right now. But we have this amazing thing called replay. So I don't have to worry about missing it like we did when we were growing up Gen X. And so anyway, I might tell you some of the new developments at the end. I thought I'd go through these Cambodian stories first. So next, this was interesting. Not something you see every day. Crackdown on Cambodian barbecue restaurant that refused to use reels. Now I'm guessing it's maybe up near Poi Phet. It's somewhere on the border with Thailand. Yep, there you go, Poi Phet City. It's on the border with Thailand because they were only taking Thai baht. That's the Thai currency. Even though it was in Cambodia, they weren't accepting Cambodian real. And apparently the owner is Indonesian. And so he's been told he can only take Cambodian real for his transactions. And if he continues to use baht, there will be legal action. The border towns do tend to accept different currencies. They will try to trick tourists, though, and whatever currency you have in your hand, they'll say they don't take it. So that you have to so that you have to have an exchange rate to exchange to whatever other currency, whether it's real or US dollars or Thai baht, let's say on the Thai border. If you have Thai baht, they'll say, oh, no, we don't take it. You have to exchange to real. If you say I have reals, they might even say, no, I don't take it. You have to exchange to US dollars. If you have US dollars, they'll say, no, you have to exchange to real. That's a common thing that happens on the border towns, because they'll take the money and, they could take any of the currencies and they'll just take it to the exchange place and exchange it, right? So as long as you they'll overcharge you so that they've, got, the charging a fee for the convenience. But yeah, so that was kind of interesting. And there is a lot more push towards all businesses, like having their menus or their services listed, the price listed in real, to try to de-dollarize, because right now we're very dollarized. Everybody uses US dollars, and accepts US dollars, and they're trying to get away from that. But it's not something you can just do overnight. So they're slowly working on that. What else we got? You still need to watch it. Oh, wait. Here we go. Oh, okay. So Chalet says she gets lost in those kind of live streams. Yeah. Especially when it's like a train wreck and you're just like, what? And you can't turn away from it. And so Snow's asking if I enjoyed her show yesterday. She started to really flex when she got her piano, and the new Mofo, that's the name of the piano, a keyboard, was working simultaneously. She was playing with both hands all the way across the entire room, left to right. Oh my gosh, how fun. Continuing, I was totally blind to all I could see was the camera. I just smiled at everyone and kept playing. Yes. So I was there in the beginning, maybe the first 20, 30 minutes. And I did enjoy it. And it seemed like a nice group you had in your chat as well. I noticed True Crime Cult and Andy went over there in addition to myself, and then your normal followers. It was I enjoyed it a lot. It was good. Chalet says she gets distracted by shiny things. I'm gonna start calling you Magpie. Oh, and you get distracted by grandson. Hi, Talon. And now we have Gibbo in the house. Gibbo in the house. Woohoo. Yeah. And maybe it wasn't True Crime Cult. I'm sorry, it was Gibbo. Gibbo was in and out of the live. Yeah. Good people, good people. We're all good people. All right, so let's see what's next on our news here. Criminals arrest. Oh, wait, I didn't share this tab instead. I was doing so good with so many tabs. This is the first time I almost didn't change the tab. Okay, criminals arrested after youth's machete death. So I don't think you see machete deaths in America or England so much. And it looks like some people. Now, he was on the run. All right. He hadn't just killed somebody. There was a manhunt on for him. So these people must have recognized him and got him in this position to hold him until the police could come. This guy looks like he might be police, like an off-duty police or something that just showed up. Or I don't know. This guy's got his hand on this guy's collar. So are they arresting like the guy and his friend? Because I would think this one is the killer. Let's see what it says. Oh, yeah, they arrested the two youths. See, catch that. After an inter-province manhunt, after a man was slashed to death earlier this month. So a 20-year-old man was killed, and an 18-year-old man was seriously injured on May 7th. So a week ago. So for 6 days, so they had, this manhunt had the Royal Cambodian Armed Forces, so that's the military, the commander of the National Gendarmerie, that's like a separate unit that's very military-ish, and the Ratnakiri Provincial Court, the deputy prosecutor. They organized this manhunt. And the 1, 2, 3, 4 provinces they were looking for him, and here they are showing up. This guy's military, like bodyguard unit. These guys in the green are the gendarmerie. They captured the machete. Here's the machete. Green pants. This guy, I think, is gendarmerie. Might be military. But look at the black is the bodyguard unit, is what they call the Hun Sen bodyguard unit. Well, they wouldn't call it Hun Sen bodyguard unit anymore because he's not the prime minister. The prime minister's bodyguard unit. It's more than secret. It's not secret service. They're like the SWAT team of Cambodia, but like for the whole country, not just like a city. Let's see what you guys are saying. Magpie, that's funny. Yeah, magpies like shiny things, right? Those 3 letters are in your last name. Ah! And when you wrote Maiden, is that supposed to be Maven? Are you talking into the phone again? So we saw that one. Oh, you always get your thumbprint. Like they don't make people sign papers. I mean, sometimes you sign your signature, but then you gotta like put your thumbprint. That's more important than like the signature itself. Yeah, but okay, yeah, no, I think they are gendarmerie, because if you see the car here, I don't know if you can see, there's gendarmerie, and then this is their logo, and that I believe is the same logo that's right here on their arm. So, um, but normally I see them in green pants and green shirt like this, whereas this guy, I mean, these have the blue shirts, so that's why I was thinking they might be military. Okay, so we don't have the story here because it's 6 days after the incident happened. As far as if they were in a drinking argument, or sometimes at a wedding, someone steps on someone's feet or whatever, flirts with the wrong person, someone gets jealous, something like that, while everybody's dancing, like the reception, and a fight can break out. And then if somebody's got a machete, there you go. This is what happens. Let's see what else. Oh, this is the king's birthday coming up. I mean, I know you guys don't see it yet. You still have the old one. I think this page is taking a long time to load because of the pictures. Let me see about this one. Okay, I can share this one instead. So, a tycoon rushes a woman from a Cambodian island for emergency treatment. I don't know if this is the tycoon or if he's somebody else on the boat, but this is the speedboat apparently that he owns, and he's the son of like the top military leader, but who has retired, and I'm not sure who's like in charge now, but Tia Vichet is his name. And so the lady was on the island of Koh Rong, and she needed to get transported to Sihanoukville for emergency treatment. The mission of mercy took place. Oh, come on. At 11 noon. No, noon is 12. Noon is only one time, 12. There's afternoon, there's morning, there's late morning, or you can just say 11 a.m. But please do not say 11 noon. That she's a 65-year-old woman. Let's see if it says here's the boat coming to this is the pier on the island. Oh, look, he's even got a Red Cross on his boat. Oh, yeah, look, here's the guy. So maybe that's her family member. Oh, wait, maybe this is them arriving in Sihanoukville, and he's waiting to help transport. See? Oh, no, this guy's in shorts. This guy's in pants. I wonder if this is like a uniform for medical, like paramedics. Quite possible. So this is the lady. I don't know what her ailment is. Nice ambulance. And there's a seat. There's always a seat. Family. I mean, an ambulance is really more for transport than serious medical. They've got some cupboards there. You could have some supplies in there. But yeah, a lot of times you're just transporting somebody. There they are. Oh, so this has got to be the guy. This is the owner of the boat. Look at that. But look at that's all engine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 engines. They're 450R, if that means anything to anybody. I guess that's a fast boat. Let me see if the king's birthday. Let me try like. There we go. All right. We want to share this tab instead. Let me see what you guys are saying. Oh, my comment got removed. Maybe Google. Oh, machetes are common in the U.S. Well, now it let it through. But yeah, I mean, Chalet ran into that happening where she was trying to make a comment on something I was saying. And until I get, YouTube actually does something, I just say whatever. I'm not doing any of this unalive stuff and whatever. Um, and if there's an effect, then okay, maybe I'll change. But until then, okay. Snow says I said the same thing, and I think my comment got deleted. Way to go, YouTube, censoring everything, making it's just absolutely illegal to even do that. I know. And Gibbo says they banned him for 24 hours all the time, and says his comment failed YouTube's guidelines. Oh my gosh. Yeah, but how many times are people threatening and stuff, and that stuff gets, harassing and threatening, and especially if it's somebody from the left to the right, or the social justice warriors and stuff, they never seem to, or rap stars or political figures on either side or whatever. They, go hang him or something like that. And nobody does anything. And Chalet says, yes, they do that, and it causes misunderstandings. All right. Well, we are going to end the Cambodia section of today's show with the king marking his 71st birthday. And so this was it was posted yesterday. I think it was the 14th. And so look at that. There's the Royal Palace. This is the Tonle Sap River. And fireworks. I remember hearing the fireworks. Is there only just one picture? Oh, that's it. That's yeah, his birthday. So he was born May 14th, 1953. Oh, that's the year of Cambodian independence. November of 53, I believe. And he became king in 2004. Yeah. Okay, well, so happy birthday to King Sihamoni. Let me see what you guys are saying. Gibbo says the Maven, I think you can say it, but not type it. Crazy. But I'm sure that's right. Well, there's a lot of people that won't say things because they are afraid of getting in trouble with YouTube. But like I said, until that happens, I'm not censoring my speech. I mean, news stories can say things. When have you ever heard CNN or NBC or ABC or CBS or any news outlet say, oh, somebody was unalive today? No. And their broadcasts are on YouTube. So, give me a break. And look at all the rap music and stuff like that has like horrible lyrics, and their music videos are up and not taken down. So I don't know. And like I said, until something happens, I'm saying what I want. So YouTube will give you a community guideline strike if you include the word sexual and the word assault side by side to one another. Specifically, a guideline strike 2 weeks, no videos. Well, I said it. Well, I didn't say them right next to each other, though. And exactly, because they're criminalizing people based on ideology, not on action. Yes. That's what happens when the criminals are in control of the government and the police. You probably know this. Yes. And that's why actually Cambodia is not that bad. And and when you look at the Karen Reed case, even if these people did not kill John O'Keefe, and they're not hiding that, they're hiding something. The investigation was totally messed up, on so many points. So Gibbo says a news channel showed a pic and you got struck. It was a naked serial unaliver, your words, and he would have made you ladies say, wow. Wow. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you got struck, though. No strikes for me. I've had a couple of music copyright things that I disputed because they were ridiculous. Um, all right, so that's the Cambodian news. 9:39. So do we wanna look at odd news on UPI? Share this tab instead. And then if you guys want, then we can talk about the latest with the Karen Reed, because I have been watching that now. I watch it every day. Oh my gosh, last night so the afternoon session kind of starts when my show finishes, or that, well, no, they break. There's still a little bit of the morning. Okay, let me just say this. It's like midnight here, when midnight in Cambodia, when they come back from the lunch break and start the afternoon stream. So I'm watching some before I want to go to bed, right? Because I've already been watching. I did my own live streams. I went over to Snow. I said hello to Chalet real quick, and then I hopped over to see what was going on with the Karen Reed case before going into bed. And around 1:30, 2 o'clock, then they put Colin Albert on the stand. And I'm like, no, why'd you do that? I can't stop watching. Now, you guys were talking about before, can't stop watching. I was like, I can't stop watching now that they've got Colin Albert on the stand. And but I did lay down. I could see the TV from my bed or my monitor. And yeah. So I just laid down in bed and watched it from there. So at least my back was resting, even though I was still awake. Oh my gosh. All righty. So you even covered it. Odd news is good. Yeah. Do I think Karen is guilty? I don't know, but we're definitely, let's do a couple of odd news stories, and then we'll talk about Karen Reed. Okay. Mama duck and 11 babies rescued from a Connecticut plaza. They were found stranded in an isolated downtown plaza. So that's nice. They got rescued. Good. Need for car wash leads Michigan woman to a $1 million Mega Million prize. Escaped cockatiel rescue from 6-story window ledge. They brought the fire department out for a cockatiel. Let's get this picture bigger. There's the rescued cockatiel. That's it. You don't have any more? All right. Whatever. Let's see where Duluth, Minnesota. All right. And what else we got? High turnout turns dino record attempt into Tyrannosaurus wreck. Thousands gather in dino costumes in Canada, in a town of Drumheller in Alberta. I would love to go to Alberta because you could see the northern lights there. But then this last week, you could see the northern lights everywhere except in Cambodia. It attracted more than, okay, wait. So their attempt to break the Guinness World Record for the largest gathering of people dressed as dinosaurs was disqualified due to the unexpectedly high turnout. Well, how can that disqualify you? Doesn't that defeat the purpose? Travel Drumheller, the tourism organization of the town, said in a Facebook post that the April 27 record attempt in the city's downtown attracted more than 3,000 people in dino dress, but officials could not obtain an exact measurement of participants. No, you got to have an exact measurement. Yeah, you have to, like, if you want to do something to try and break a record, you have to contact the Guinness World Records first and get your attempt approved, and then they send an adjudicator to be present. Um, he recorded 3,000 people through numbered bracelets or wristbands, which far exceeded what we had originally thought, the person told the news. She said photos and videos from the attempt indicate there may have been close to double that number of people, but an accurate count could not be obtained due to officials being unprepared for such amount. So, like, they ran out of bracelets and wristbands? Is that what happened? The Guinness said that there were people that they had witnessed leaving the area after they had been wristbanded, so they weren't following what the volunteers had told them by staying in the space. They had to all be together in the area for 1 solid minute. So the attempt was disqualified. So the current record is 252 people. And they had more than 3,000 people in dinosaur things. Oh, wow. So when they do it next time, it's going to be a lot different. They're going to process, have everything ready for double the people. Let's play this and see. I don't want to see you. I want to see the dinosaurs. Titanosaurus task. Oh, how fun! How fun! Um, you love watching the Guinness Book of World Records. You used to collect the book, but just watch the show. I had Guinness Book of World Record books like before there was a show. Yeah, I always loved looking through and seeing everything. And all right, so a couple more. There's a bison spotted wandering loose on the Wisconsin highway. And I mentioned that one with the bison because I think it's safe to announce that Mumsy went on a trip to Yellowstone and she wanted to see the bison. She saw the bison. And so we're prepared. It might be about 2 weeks before we can get the pictures all sorted out and everything so that we can do a travel vlog on her trip to Yellowstone. So I'm getting that ready for you. Um, and you'll just have to wait. Oh, here's a story we got to look at. The New York Dublin portal shut down due to inappropriate behavior. This is exactly what Cinema Shogun was talking about when they had the grand opening and they opened it. He was like, people, I can see this going bad really quickly, and so if you don't know what it is, you can see this picture here. There was this display set up, one in Dublin and one in New York. So you had New York and Dublin, and there'd be a camera. And so in real time, people in New York could see people in Dublin, vice versa, right? And you could wave at each other and things, whatever. Um, let's see if I'm thinking you guys can't hear the. I don't want to see you talking. I want to see some examples of bad behavior. Okay, so here's hearts, kisses, peace sign, attracts tourists and locals. I think he saw his girlfriend or his mother or something. See friends are talking to each other on the phone and seeing each other. Okay, most of it's good. Here's someone getting arrested. Hateful messages. I did see somebody mooning someone. Like they moon the portal. They're doing paper, scissors, rocks with people in the other country. Oh, he's really downplaying that anything bad happened. 6 months. She said it's supposed to be in 6 months, but she said it's gonna be here for 6 months. But the news story here is that it's been temporarily switched off due to what organizers described as instances of inappropriate behavior. Are you gonna give us some examples? Blah, blah, blah. Included swearing, nudity, and display of images from the September 11th, 2001 attacks. Uh, oh, that's not so bad. Blah, blah, blah. What are you guys saying? Oh, what did Mumsy say? Wait. Tacos. Oh, you want me to do the tacos? Okay, I'll look at the tacos. Nick Snow says I should be in that book for having survived the longest deep vein blood clot, but they never contacted me after I put in the applications and information package. Oh man, that's a bummer. They never even contacted you. Seems like they should at least like reply and say we received it, but we're not going to do anything. Gibbo says to Chalet, I'll have 27, please, as in tacos. And everyone's saying that's great, Mumsy, that you went to Yellowstone and saw the bison. Chalet's going to pick up some tacos today. Gibbo says, I talked to Shogun on Twitter. Great guy, very funny. Yeah, I like him a lot. I follow him on Twitter, but I've never had like private conversations with him. Snow says it took under 6 minutes for someone to be arrested. No sound on it. Yeah, I thought so, because I got a little message that said that there was no sound. I mean that the sound had gotten because I was going from tab to tab to tab to tab. Then it like said the audio was off, which is why I was trying to like repeat what they were saying. All right, you want the taco one, and then we'll talk about Karen Reed. Okay. Indiana judge rules tacos are Mexican-style sandwiches. Ha 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 ha. An Indiana judge resolved a legal dispute surrounding a Fort Wayne strip mall by ruling that tacos and burritos are Mexican-style sandwiches. Now, why? Is this for tax purposes or what? That's the designer between the new Quintana Plaza strip mall on Jefferson Boulevard in Fort Wayne. Oh, isn't this the same? This is the Delphi state. The Sunshine State, this state, that's the Delphi state. They entered into a written agreement with the Covington Creek Condominium Association. Well, there's the first problem, because homeowners associations can already be kind of nasty, but if it's a condominium owners association, yeah, they can get real picky about stuff. So let's see. They had intended to keep fast food restaurants from opening in the block of stores. The agreement allowed for the opening of made-to-order sandwich restaurants, with Subway and Jimmy John's listed as examples, but barred traditional fast food restaurants such as McDonald's, Arby's, and Wendy's. The agreement also prohibited any allowed restaurants from offering outdoor seating, drive-through service, or alcoholic beverages. Boy, bunch of Karens living in that condominium. If you want to know where the Karens are, they're in the Covington Creek condominium. I wonder if Judge Gall lives in this condominium. Quintana struck a deal in 2022 to open a location of a locally owned eatery, the Famous Taco, in their strip mall. And the condo association approved an amendment to allow the restaurant. But the Allen County Plan Commission rejected the amendment, citing the earlier written agreement. Who do you want to bet? You want to bet that Judge Gull, Francis C. Gull, is on the Allen County Plan Commission? The dispute was brought before Okay, so but the dispute, the person who had common sense, not Francis Seagull, was the Allen Superior Judge Craig J. Bobay. Bobay? Bobay? Bobay. I like Bobay. Who ruled that the opening of the Mexican restaurant would not require the original agreement to be amended at all. I want Judge Bobay. Judge Francis Seagull needs to recuse herself, and Craig J. Bobay needs to be put on the Delphi case because he's got common sense. Bobay wrote, the proposed famous taco restaurant would serve made-to-order tacos, burritos, and other Mexican-style food and would not have outdoor seating, drive-through service, or serve alcohol. The court agrees with Quintana that tacos and burritos are Mexican-style sandwiches, and the original written commitment does not restrict potential restaurants to only American cuisine-style sandwiches. Woo! Bobay said the original agreement would also apply to made-to-order restaurants offering Greek gyros, we call it gyro, Indian naan wraps, or Vietnamese banh mi. The famous taco already has equipment and signage in place at the strip mall, but it was not yet clear when the eatery would open. Well, there you go. So the famous taco has been officially declared a Mexican-style sandwich, and no ethnic bias, racism, and like, what am I thinking of? That, like, you're not going to get away with that here. What? So they don't like the sign? They don't like Mexican food? They're afraid the Mexican food is going to attract Mexicans. And that's what the condominium doesn't want. That you heard it here first. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. You thought the word torta. Oh, I love tortas. But our tortas are they Spanish or Portuguese? I think they are Spanish. Yeah, they're Spanish. Mexican restaurants have tortas. So they can serve tortillas, right, and soft tacos. Yeah. But tortas are like on a bun, like it's almost like pulled pork or something, but it could be beef, whatever. Oh my gosh, tortas are so good. I love tortas. Gibbo, she won't be recused as she's the head judge and no one will favor a defense over her. I know. Kick her off. Kick her off. Judge Bobay, we need you. We need you for the Delphi case. All right. So let's shift to the Karen Reed case, and I will just share this tab instead. Is it still on pause? Good, it's on pause. This is Colin Albert. All right. On Emily D. Baker's, and I'll give you this link to this show copy. Don't watch it now. You go watch it when I'm done. And one thing I've noticed, okay, because I've been pushing that I love Emily D. Baker's show a lot, and I do. When I'm watching live, I like to watch hers. If you don't catch it live, because she'll do a lot of pausing, and she has a lot of great insight, legal insight, and she catches all the right moments and stuff. But if you're watching a replay and you want to know what's going on and see clips and know all the important things that happen, then I recommend watching The Lawyer You Know. Because he'll just give you the highlights. Still takes an hour and a half just to go over all the highlights of the whole day of testimony, right? I'll get his page up here and then share the tab so you can see it. I'll just go to history because I was just watching it today. Here he is. Okay. All right. And so I'll share this tab for a moment. Can you see it? So this is The Lawyer You Know. and he's really good too. So the one I shared, the link that I shared of Emily D. Baker is what's live right now, the morning trial today, right? Now, this link that I'm sharing for the lawyer you know is the recap of what happened yesterday, all right, which we'll talk about. Okay, it's okay. There's boring stuff that happens, especially when the prosecution is going over stuff. All right, so the first thing that happened, let me answer Gibbo's question. Gibbo asked me, do I think Karen Reed is guilty? I'm betting that she did not back up her car and hit him and kill him, especially on purpose. That she had a fight, that she wanted to kill him, and so she planned this and she backed up on purpose to try and kill him. I don't buy that at all. I'm finding yesterday's testimony very interesting in that you have people that saw the SUV parked outside, and you saw Karen in the car. There's somebody that saw, well, they say a female, so it's everyone is conceding that the female that they saw in this particular black SUV would have been Karen. No one's disputing that it was Karen, even though they said they cannot identify. They just know that it was a woman in the driver's seat, but not who. They wouldn't be able to identify. They don't by memory anyway. And that at least one person said that when they were coming through an intersection and that Karen's SUV was like, they yielded to Karen's SUV. And then Karen's SUV parked and they parked behind it. Okay. And so when it was driving by them, one person saw a female driver and a male in the passenger seat. Then nobody else, it's only a female. She's got the interior dome light on, and it's just her. So nobody can say that they saw John standing outside the car, laying on the ground, walking to the house, no sight of John at all, except for when he was in the car while the car was driving to the house. So, and then, okay, yeah. Gibbo says, you hate the lawyer, because he puts out great content, but he's so greedy with his looks. Yeah, I mean, I don't care. I overlook his looks. I'm not paying attention. I'm so focused on what he's talking about with the case that I watched the whole show about yesterday just to make sure I didn't miss anything, and he pretty much covered everything that I saw. And so if you don't want to watch it live and you just need a recap, an hour and a half with lawyer, we'll hit all the main points is all I'm saying. And Emily D. Baker, though, you can turn it on 1.5 speed. So when I'm done here, I'll go back to where I had stopped watching and put it on 1.5 speed so that I can catch up. And hear, and then I watch it on regular speed. So you could do that as a replay, but still you're going to have at least 6-7 hours to watch if you want to watch the whole proceedings yourself. So anyway, day 12, the first person they had was a witness being called out of order in 1, 2, 3 order. And I had mentioned in my Karen Reed show that I did that basically the way the prosecutor is laying things out is that you put the police and the investigators on the stand. So they're calling witnesses before they introduce evidence. Okay. So in the witnesses, they did police and investigators. Then they did all the adults involved that night. And now they're doing the children of all the adults who were also present in some form at the house, you know, or had some involvement in some way, whether they were at the restaurant or at the house or whatever, because they're pretty much like setting down timeline stuff. And the timeline's not really like cutting it for me. I want to, and I don't want, I wouldn't do this myself. Somebody out there, if they have notes from watching from the beginning, that, or at least of these witnesses of when they arrived at the house or when they left the house, like this person says this time, this person says this time, this person says this time, because I hadn't been taking notes this whole time until now. I am. Do I know that Bruce Rivers, he's a great lawyer channel and he's funny and has a rap as well. Ooh, you got to watch fast. Yeah, put on double time. Okay, so they, like I said, they haven't gotten to the evidence and experts of the evidence yet. We haven't heard the medical examiner. We don't know how John died, etc. So, but for some reason, and this witness was a dog or an animal DNA specialist from UC Davis, which is near Sacramento. So she must have allotted like a week, because this has been going on for 4 weeks already, I think. And we're like not even halfway through. And so they probably had originally told her that she would get put on the stand. And now she's like, she's got to get back to work, so they put her on out of order. Okay. So she, as an expert, but there was a glorious moment, an absolute glorious. We need like little video clips of this moment. So what happened? Well, she talks all about, how they do the DNA, blah, blah, blah. Prosecutors have brought her up. The prosecution had sent swabs to her lab, and then they processed the swabs. The swabs were from a T-shirt. We don't know what part of the T-shirt. And we don't know when or how it was collected off of the T-shirt. But the results were negative for dog and positive for pig, like maybe someone dribbled some bacon or something. And then on cross-examination, 2 things the defense really brought out. Number 1 was their procedure when they are collecting evidence, because sometimes like the law enforcement might send a shirt to them and then they would take the, extract the samples themselves and do the test. And then sometimes that swab is done in the local law enforcement and then sent to them. And so he made a big point on that. She has, in her lab, she has no control over who took the swab and whether or not they followed procedure. That's correct. Okay. They also said, with your results are saying that they came negative for dog does not mean that there was no dog. It just means you could not detect any dog. Yes, correct. Okay, that's a pretty valid point. So when he's talking about all the procedure, he goes through minute, so like when you collect evidence, you do this, you do this, you do this, you do this, all the procedural steps. He's getting that, because he's going to show that the police never did any of it. I guarantee because remember the red Solo cups? Well, the defense remembered the red Solo cups, and so he's talking about this sterile. He's going over all these procedures, and he goes, "You wouldn't use a red Solo cup," and she goes, "I'm sorry, what?" Because she has no idea about the red Solo cups that we know about, right? So she's like, "I'm sorry, what?" And then, of course, the prosecution says objection, and the judge says sustained. Oh, but it was such a beautiful moment of snark. I mean, the snark does not get better than that. Blah, 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 blah. You wouldn't use a red Solo cup, would you? I'm sorry, what? The bacon fridge is broken by me. You had to buy sausages. Still pork. Still going to come back as pig, because they do test for food. Like, so if you're buying, if you're Muslim and you don't eat pork and you're buying beef, and you send this beef off to the lab and test to make sure there's no pork in it, or Jewish, both of them don't eat pork. Okay, so that was the big deal with the dog DNA expert. Then Allison McCabe got on. Now, Allison is Jen McCabe's daughter. Jen McCabe hasn't been on the stand yet. They got all the other adults, but they haven't done Jen McCabe. They haven't done Brian Higgins. They didn't do Proctor, who would have been in the investigators. They're saving all these people. And so she had a bit of attitude. And then she breaks down crying at the very, very end. But I think the big takeaway from her was that she said that she had the Life 360 app, and said that her mom also has the Life 360 app, which means the defense can get that Life 360 information about Jen McCabe's movements. And if you don't remember, Jen McCabe is the one that was doing that Google search about how long does it take someone to die in the snow, which is really, why would you be Google searching that at 2:30 in the morning? Why? Then there was a lot of information. She picked up Colin. Now, if you remember from the previous show, there's been a lot of speculation about Colin Albert, and he would be the nephew of the homeowners. And it's like everybody's trying to hide Colin. So for like a long time, it was never even admitted that he was there at the house. And so now we find out that Allison picked up Colin and gave him a ride home. Well, that's important for the timeline, right? And also whether she saw the black SUV, and no, she didn't see it. It wasn't there yet. And so it's also very interesting that 12-10, both her and Colin, or 12-10. That's the one thing that they knew specifically. Was 12-10 was when she picked him up at the house and took him straight home, and then she went straight home. Well, there was a screenshot of the text messages between her and Colin. And there's a lot of sus about that, because it's not original phone data. It's a screenshot, which is a photo, which could have been manipulated. And she doesn't have that phone anymore because she upgraded, like Subway and the tuna scandal. Exactly. Yeah, maybe this lab did the test to see what kind of meat it was, because they can identify species and different things, So not only were the text messages called into question themselves as far as how accurate they really were, and she denied that they were manipulated. but she couldn't remember when the screenshot was taken. Was it taken with your old phone or was it taken with your new phone? I don't remember. Can't even remember that much. Like, did anyone ask you to take the screenshot? No. And stuff. And yet we have another testimony from another girl that Jen McCabe asked her to screenshot her messages and send them to her. So it seems like Jen McCabe, Allison's mother, was like gathering all the information to make sure that there was like this what can we get away with as a story. This is what it's sounding like. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm saying it's sounding like that. So did anyone check? Oh, I wrote, did anyone check Jen's app, the Life 360? We won't know that probably until they actually question her. And so now the time, so they did, he had, then he came out with the Life 360 data. At 12:04, she was at home. Yeah, that's correct. I don't remember her testifying that she went home, but she might have. She might have said she went home and then went to pick Colin up because she was out riding around with her friends. They found a stray dog, and the blizzard was coming. So they picked it up. They took it to the police station right at the very time, which was a nice coincidence that someone was calling and saying, my dog's lost. And then the police are like, oh, hey, we got someone walking through the door right now with a dog. Yeah, that's your dog. Great. And so she volunteers to take the dog to the owner. And I think she might have said she stopped by the house and then went to pick up Colin. Okay. So at 12:04, she's at her house. And then I because it's only marking timestamps of areas that you've set in the Life 360 as home or school or work or best friend's house, uncle's house, or whatever. I mean, you have to like enter it as a place, and then if you're within that area, that ring of that area, then it will mark that you okay. So it's like, where's Allison? Oh, she's at the high school, because it's got kind of a ring around that covers the whole campus. So you actually might not be at the high school, but you're within the ring of the high school, right? Same thing with home. And you can set if you want it 5 feet, 10 feet, 25 feet, 50 feet. You can set how wide you want that ring to be. So they didn't have like a ring at the house where John McCabe died. They did have one at home and at the high school, because so at 12:23 she gets home. Now, so if she, and it tells you how fast you were driving, and how much time, I mean, like how many miles you drove, and how fast you were driving. It tells you that. So she was back home at 12:23, which does kind of fit with, she picked him up at 12:10. All right. But she said she stayed home. Her her Life 360 then said she left at 12:26 and ended up at the high school, pinged at the high school, and then was back home by 12:29. Then she left the home 12:31 and was back at 1:08. And then at 1:28 she was at the high school again, and then at 1:30 she was back home, which he said is and he's reading each of these, and she's going no, 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 no to each one of them. Well, I guess maybe her phone left the house without her. I don't know. That would have been a good question. I don't think they asked that question. At 1:32, there was no longer any activity. So that was an interesting part of it. Okay. Then they had also, but then right before she finished, the prosecution was on redirect, and he was asking them about asking her, oh, why didn't you give the screenshot? Or, the defense was asking you whether or not you had given the screenshot to law enforcement, um, prior to the date that you did, and because they want like yes or no. Did you give it to law enforcement? No, right? And so in the redirect, he's able to say why. Why didn't you? Why did you finally decide to give it to law enforcement? Because we were being harassed, and oh my God, she got all teary and crying, and I'm sorry if she really was traumatized. It's possible, but it didn't really get much sympathy from me, and I don't know that what it did for the case. Because it shouldn't have taken her getting harassed in order to give the screenshot to the police. And she said, I didn't think anything was relevant. So right after they find out that John McCabe had died on the lawn, and everybody knows it, right? And they find out, she didn't think it was relevant, but she thought it was relevant enough to take a screenshot. The fact that she had the screenshot means that somebody thought it was relevant. But her words are, it wasn't relevant. That's why I didn't give it to the police. Well, like, who did you give it to? And she wouldn't say, she just, I don't remember, blah, 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 blah. Wouldn't fess up to anything. Okay. So then the other kids of the adults that they had done were Ryan, who was the driver of a pickup truck with his friend Brian Nagel to pick up Julie Nagel, so we already heard from Julie Nagel that she was at the party to celebrate Brian Jr.'s birthday party at the house, right? Because Brian Jr. lives at the house. She was there for that, for his birthday party. She calls her brother to come pick her up. His friend Ryan gives him a ride. He arrives with his girlfriend in the back seat. I don't remember her name, but she was like the most credible person. Like, she don't have a dog in this race, Anyway, the girlfriend, not the girlfriend's in the back seat. Julie comes out of the house, and they're expecting, they got the car running. They pulled up right behind the black SUV, which is Karen. And Julie comes out of the house. They're expecting her to just jump in and drive off. That, she called for a pickup. She's going to come in, right? Jump in the car. They're going to drive away. No need to turn off the engine or anything like that. But she comes up to the door. Brian rolls down the window. Not Brian Jr., the birthday guy. Brian, her brother, rolls down the window, and she's like, "Oh, I changed my mind. I'm not ready to leave yet. Do you want to come inside?" I bet you they're thinking the best thing in the world was that they didn't go inside. It's bad enough they have to be there in the witness stand on this trial for showing up and then driving off. But, what if they hit him? I don't think that, because I think Karen would have seen that if that happened. But so they talk for a minute, and she says, "Come in." They say no, and then she goes back in the house, and then they drive off. And as they're driving off, it's like, what did you see? What did you not see? Well, they didn't see anybody in the snow. They didn't see anybody walking to the house. They only saw the person. They saw a female in the driver's seat. They didn't see anybody in the passenger seat. The girl is the one that, as they were approaching the house and they yielded to Karen's car, saw a man in the car, assuming that's Brian. So in the time that they passed, and then they turned to follow. So you've got one car going this way, the other car comes and is behind them. Did Brian jump out and go into the house that fast? Or was he still at the car? Is there like, you didn't see anybody crouch down? You didn't see anybody standing outside the door? Like, you know, you get outside, you got a few last words, and you're talking through the window to the driver before they drive off, you know, come back and pick me up, or don't worry about picking me up. I'll find a ride, whatever, right? They didn't see anybody standing next to the car. They didn't see anybody laying down, yet the other person yesterday is the one that said that I think it was Julie. So she went back inside, right, and didn't go with her brother. So then later, when she was getting a ride home, then that's when she says she saw the black lump of something near the flagpole, right? But however, she didn't realize it was a person. If she had realized it was a person, she would have said something like, hey, let's stop, let's check that out, let's see if that person's okay, I think that person needs help. They would have said something. However, the next morning when she found out that it was a person that was there, she didn't report it to the police to say, oh my gosh, when we were leaving at such and such a time, I saw someone in the snow. I didn't realize it was a person, but I saw something, so that police can get the timeline in the investigation, right? No, didn't report it. Andy's in the house. Woohoo, Andy. Excellent. Great to have you here. We're just going, we've gone through lots of stuff, but right now we're going over the Karen Reed, what happened yesterday. So that pretty much sums up those kids. Then it's Colin Albert, the one that wasn't at the house, then he was at the house, but he left. Nobody thought to say anything because he left before. Oh, that was kind of a slip that Allison said, like, because she picked up Colin. And so she was saying, well, we didn't say anything because Colin wasn't there when John was, or Colin wasn't at the house when John was there, I think is what she said. Colin wasn't at the house when John was there. And so now people are kind of picking, did she mean at the yard of the house? Or does she mean like in the, she slip that John was in the house when John was there in the house, or when John was there at the house, right? Never got like distinguished. But when she said it, you know how when you kind of slip on something and then it's like, oops, and you try to cover it? She kind of had that. And so she said that, and then she like quick kind of went back over it to try and like make it sound something different, you know? So and that's what's the suspicious stuff. Everybody's acting like they're covering something up. And if they weren't acting, and oh my gosh, so Colin, he's the king of, I don't remember, I don't know, to the point that the defense today, before my show started, the defense actually said, so are you, he said, do you have a memory problem? They almost like, do you have a physical condition, a memory problem, like a brain problem? Or are you just stupid, or what? Because, okay, we know, we've already seen the text messages, right? And we saw it with Allison, and I believe that yesterday, because today's a continuation of Colin, that yesterday they showed Colin the text messages. So we know that there is text messages that he asked for a ride, And she came and she said she showed up and he's on his way out, right? We know that there was communication. The defense literally asked Colin, when's the last time you had communication with Allison? I don't know. I don't know. I can't remember. It's like, well, she's one of your best friends. But I don't know. I don't remember. Well, like days, weeks? I don't know. I don't remember. And then he's like, well, what about, has it been 5 years? Well, obviously not 5 years, because 2 years ago they had their text message conversation, right? And he's like, so he doesn't say no. He says, I don't remember. I mean, what kind of idiot? So if you can't remember simple things like when you talk to your best friend, when's the last time you talked to your best friend? Whether it was on the phone or in a chat or whatever, right? Wasn't she just crying on the stand yesterday over the harassment that Colin was getting? Well, how does she know he's being harassed if they weren't talking about it? You know, obviously they talk to each other. They should call her back up on the stand and say, when's the last time you talked to him? So he's 20 years old and he's in college. I don't remember if he said he was a sophomore or what, 18, 19, 20. I think he's a sophomore in college. What kind of grades is he getting in college if he can't remember these kind of simple things? You know, I mean, it's just, and that's what makes him look suspicious. If he'd just give a reasonable answer, it wouldn't be a problem. Yeah, Chalet's saying it's exactly things like this that drive her nuts. Andy's saying, great mood show yesterday, Snow. Let's see. He can't remember the time, but he went to his, so that night he went to his friend Mike's house first. He went, while he couldn't remember the time he went to Brian Albert's house, he said it was dark. Okay. Oh, no. When he went to Mike's house, it was dark. Well, see, that was like in the beginning. That makes sense. Good job, Colin. That's the kind of thing you need to say. Not like, well, was it 5 years ago since you last communicated with Allison? Oh, I don't remember. No, that's clearly a no. Right. So after Mike's house, he went to Brian Albert's house, and he said that Allison, who he calls Allie, gave him a ride to the house, which was new because in Allison's testimony, she never said she gave him a ride there. She said she went to a dinner that was some kind of sport thing, a sport team dinner. I don't remember what sport. And then there was a basketball game, so she went to the basketball game. Then she went driving around with her friends. And that's when they found the lost dog and stuff. And that's all she was doing, was driving around until Colin called her to pick her up. Made it sound like that was the first time she'd heard from Colin that night. But no, he said that she dropped him off, and at least he remembered, between 10:30 and 11. And so he stayed for like an hour and a half and left at 12:10. Boy, he's got a clear memory on that 12:10. But he did say that he had like a midnight curfew, around, give or take, midnight curfew. It wasn't strict midnight on the dot. So like 12:10 was within his curfew. It was, and that it was 5 to 10 minute drive home. So he would have gotten home around 12:20 just by doing the math. So he actually had a brain yesterday. I don't know what happened between then and today. So that's my notes on Karen Reed. And it's 10:30, an hour and a half. They could be on like a morning break, lunch break, and they break at 12. That's 11. So they're coming up on the lunch break right now. Yeah, about 30 minutes to the lunch break. if you guys want to go check it out and see for yourself what's going on. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over there. I don't know. Mumsy might have said something about she wanted to chat with me, like on Skype when the show's over. So I might do that for a minute. And then I'll just watch replay. I'll watch replay at 1.5 speed. You guys know how to do that? Let me show you like here on this one. This little settings, this gear is settings. So you click on that, there's playback speed. And then you click on normal and it gives you all these different options. So you just put it on 1.5 is you actually, I find that like when it first starts at 1.5, it sounds like everybody's talking fast, but my brain actually kind of adjusts so that it's almost like I'm hearing. So then after I've been watching it for like a half hour, 45 minutes, I actually have to check the gear to see if it's at normal speed or if it's still at 1.5, because my brain is kind of adjusted to the speedy talking, you know. But if 1.5 is too fast, you can always do 1.5. At least you're getting ahead a little bit faster than normal speed. Yeah. So there's your tip. Your tip for the day. On the phone, the gear is at the top right. Yes. And so whenever you see the gear, it's going to mean settings. Yeah. And we like the paper clip for attachments. And I don't think most people know paper clips anymore because they don't use paper at all. Ugh. The stapler is going to be obsolete pretty soon. You know, what other I don't know. No, that's a Gen X show. We should do a Gen X show on how many icons, like modern technology icons, came from our old technology that we experienced. That would be a great show. Oh, let's do it next week. That's what we'll do. I'll find some icons and we'll go through that. Oh, that'd be fun. All right. So it is the end of my day. I hope you're having a wonderful day. And in case you didn't know it, love transcends time and space. Isn't that cool? Science is proving that. So whenever and wherever you are watching this, guess what? I love you. So yeah, this is the end of the week for me. Maybe I'll pop on if I feel like it. Oh, I didn't change the here, I'll change it now. What are we doing? We're doing regular Ramble chat. There we go. It changed to Ramble chat. I had Ramble True Crime up in the corner. So anyway, glad you liked it, Andy. Love you. Yeah. Did you see my super flex? Someone said they love me. Look, Mom. Yeah, see? And it's true. It's true. I love you. Playing 2 pianos at one time without looking. Yeah, you were awesome, Snow. I look forward to catching the next time you do it as well. I'll need to make sure my notifications are turned on because I know I'm subscribed. You need a boyfriend. Oh, well, if that's what you want, then I wish the best for you and that you find exactly what you want. Good stuff, Snow. My hands hurt just from listening. All right. I don't know how long the chat will keep. You guys can keep talking in the chat, but I'm going to end the live stream. So take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.